In this video, I'm going to show you a great affordable third-party tool available from cinemaspice.net called, fittingly, Charts and Graphs.
Just so you know where I found this helpful set of presets, they were at cinemaspice.net. These were the Charts and Graphs presets. Now I'm going to jump back here into After Effects and show you how they work. Once you download the presets, you just install them in the area of presets on your system where you'd install any other presets. Then, if you go ahead and go to your Effects and Presets panel, you can click in the search field and start to type chart, and notice Charts and Graphs pop up. So let's actually clear that field out there, and I'll just open my animation presets, and sure enough, there are my charts and graphs. There are 5 different presets. Notice I have a 1920 by 1080 comp setup. All I have to do is just double click on the bar graphs preset, and that'll automatically create a shape layer with a custom rig set up for any of these lines. So here, if I go to the setup options, let's say I only want 4 bars. I could go ahead and change the amount to 4. And then when I click outside, you can see it makes a narrow stair step. So what if I want these to take up the same width we had originally? Well, I could just click and drag and make the overall graph the same width that it was when I had 7 columns. Let's say I don't like the stroke size for the bar. I can go ahead and just click and drag and change that to 0. The most important thing to pay attention to is the max amount. This determines how tall the individual lines are going to be in regards to how much is being measured here on the left-hand side. So let's say the max amount should only be 100, not 1,000. Now the bars appear much taller. That's controlled under bar height. So bar 1 is 50, bar 2 is at 100. So I'll go ahead and change bar 2 to 75. And let's look at bar 3. We want to change that to 53. And let's say bar 4, we want to change that to 3. So we very quickly and easily change the size of each one of these columns. What if I want to adjust the colors? Well, I'll collapse bar height, and sure enough, there are the bar colors. So I could set any custom color I want or sample from anywhere else using one of the eyedroppers. So that's all I wanted to show you about bar graphs. Let's say I want to actually create a pie chart. Well, I'll deselect layer 1 and then click on it once and press delete, and that'll get rid of my previous bar graphs preset. Let's go to pie charts. I'll double click the effect, and sure enough, it's added right into my comp. So if we open up our slice options, notice we have 6 slices. Well, what if our pizza has 7 slices or 3 slices? Well, if it has 3 slices, we could just change the size of the slices 4 through 6. So let's change them from 10 to 0. And just keep pressing tab to move between fields. And then press return once you've actually set everything. Now, if we open up the color options here, you can see we have beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. And the way this is working is as follows. Notice I have 4 color wedges. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th is always going to be color 7, because this way you don't have to worry about adding when you're setting up the size of each of these elements. So if we open up the scale options and close color, we can actually scale out elements. Like let's say slice 2 needs to be larger. I'll go ahead and make that slice larger, and I might want to go ahead and just scale that out a little bit. So that easily can create a sense of visual hierarchy. Now there's one last thing I want to show you about pie charts before we jump out, and that has to do with the display options. So if I close the scale and open up display, here you can see an actual numerical value for each piece. So remember the color for color 7 is yellow. Well, if I don't remember the size because I haven't set it up here, I can just come down here and under display 7, it's 49. But remember, 7 always dynamically changes depending upon what you're doing with the other slices. So let's change slice 3 to be something a little larger. And I'll open up my scale options here and just scale it up just a tiny bit. Now, of course, we could add type into the scene and link it up to the display options. We could select our shape layer and press R and keyframe the rotation if you want things to spin around. Let's Command Z or Control Z to undo. And even under the style here, I could go ahead and adjust the rotation of everything as a whole. So like I said at the beginning, there are actually 5 charts and graphs presets as a part of this bundle. I like this because a lot of times I find building bar graphs and pie charts can be a little tedious. And with all the rigging already done, this was sort of a no-brainer. Just remember, in order to apply the preset, you don't have to have anything selected in your composition. Just double-click on the preset and it'll load right into the comp.